19 years deep and we've never had a couple see each other before the intended time. We're not. So today we're at the Sanctuary in Long Beach. This is, as you guys have seen, actually, there's other videos that we posted here before. Today, Oscar is going to be second shooting. He's right over here. There we go. So one thing with the Sanctuary is there's plenty of locations that you can take them. And if you just understand cropping and, you know, getting rid of things. So like back there, obviously you don't want to shoot towards the benches because those are the benches for the ceremony when the ceremony's in this room. Since they have them out here, I would keep them kind of where Alexis is, who is recording, and I would shoot this direction because that way the sun is behind him. Go stand over there, Oscar. So with the sun right around there behind our subject, it gives them a little hair light, but it's not messing up the lighting in the front. Whereas where I'm standing, the light is just blasting me in the face and it's just not a good look. I would also keep them away from the background, so that way it gets nice and blurry back there. That little fire exit thing I'll take care of if it's in the shot, but try to avoid it if you can just zoom, you know, use your zoom lens. And since it's only one other person in the wedding party, you can do both of them out here.
Not a lot of room needed.
And the sun will move over this way, so it'll be actually directly behind him by the time you bring him out. Yeah, one thing you know about, if you're a photographer, you know where the sun moves every single day. And you know what time sunset is? It's 7:47 today. This is normally where the reception is, although one thing with the Sanctuary is they really accommodate pretty much what you want. So normally the ceremony's here and the reception is on the other side. They wanted the reception here. They're both really cool rooms, like they both work, but they wanted the reception here, so that's why this is already set up, and the place where normally is the reception is where the ceremony is going to be. We've never shot it like this, so there's going to be a very different and unique way of shooting it, but I have seen them before where they do the ceremony here and then they flip this room and then have the reception here as well. So today I like that this is already set up so we know, okay, this is set up, over there is pretty much set up. We can always shoot in here, do some shoot throughs and things like that. We're not getting in anybody's way. That's the main thing. And then upstairs is where the bride gets ready. So we'll go up there in a second. I would say, Oscar, keep the groom on the other side so I can bring the bride out here if I need to. Obviously we'll communicate and make sure that they don't run into each other. So that's another thing that's very important is communication. We're 19 years deep and we've never had a couple see each other before the intended time. We're not going to start today. Now this is where the ceremony is going to be. It's really, really nice. And it's really, really air conditioned, which is nice today because it's like 90 something degrees. It is a hot one. This is going to be coming off very soon. But like almost anywhere here, you do have some really great little spots. Like with the stained glass windows, you get that nice soft light that comes through. Yes, it adds a little bit of color cast, so just kind of understand it as you're shooting it. Do I want the color cast or do I want to fix it? You can always adjust it in post. But you know, we try to use natural light as much as we can. And then if we have to supplement it afterwards, then we do. But we try to use natural light whenever possible. And then the ceremony up here, everybody, our team knows what we're going to do during the ceremony. One shooter's on one side, one is on the other, and then lead always stays in the middle. Obviously today that will be me, so I'll be staying in the middle. So that way we don't have to be running around, we don't have to be crossing, we don't want to get in front of people. Like, you know, when they tell us at churches, don't cross in front of the first row, I always look at them like, obviously. But the reason that they tell you that is because people, you know, break the rules. Rules come about because people break them. And now you have to create those rules. So we always tell our shooters, don't be crossing in front of parents. The only time that Oscar is going to cross, and we were just discussing, is when the first kiss is about to happen. Our second shooter always goes back over here next to us so we can both shoot the first kiss, just in case. You'll be my backup. And then also we'll talk to each other and I'll go, Oscar, you go tight, I'll go wide. So we get two different crops of the first look. And then when we get to the back, you keep getting the wedding party family walking back while I go with the couple and direct them what we're going to do next. Awesome. Alexis, we'll do families, wedding party, and bride and groom photos after the ceremony. Generally, the families and wedding party, we're going to try to keep here, and then bride and groom will take them around a little bit more. But we try to keep it as simple as possible, probably using an umbrella to light them. Nice and simple. So one thing I was just telling Alexis is one thing that we always do for safety, just like we were talking about the first kiss. Every time before we start the wedding, we exchange cards. So I'll give Oscar one card, he'll give me one of his cards. And that way we're shooting the wedding on two different cameras, on two different cards. At the end of the night, we exchange cards. So then Oscar has a full copy of the wedding. I have a full copy of the wedding. And that way, God forbid anything happens to me, Oscar has the wedding. Or if something happens to the hard drive before we deliver the full wedding, you have a copy of it and I can go, hey Oscar, you know, do you still have it? I don't format cards until after everything has been delivered. So I probably have about 65, 128 gigabyte cards that I just keep buying them whenever. So I'll buy 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, and eventually just add it up to that. Because I'd rather spend an extra $40 to have peace of mind than, $40 per time that I buy them. Then one day, I haven't delivered it yet. I have to use a card because I have another wedding, and don't do that to yourself. It's just easier just to, have extra cards. We are in the middle of the reception right now.
Think about all my staff, so I got some more.
Do your rounds, there you go. Super nice guy. Kevin, who works here, if you guys have your wedding at the sanctuary, you're in good hands because he's just a very positive person, which we love, obviously. Right now we're in the middle of the reception. We got a little something to eat, and then speeches are gonna happen, and then I believe there's just a couple of other things, and then it's just open dancing. So at this point, we just capture whatever's going on. We're not gonna over-direct anything. That was for earlier, basically letting them know what we're doing next with families, all that, posing them, but now it's just capturing what's happening. There comes a point where you have to just let your couple enjoy their day, and that's pretty much where we're at now. Alexis and I, we were speaking in Spanish. But we were just discussing, because we were going over a few shots, and don't worry, our second photographer's getting the dancing right now. We came out to scout around to see if we can do an additional shot. I don't know if we're going to, because they're having fun, and I feel like we already got what we needed out of this room, but we'll see. In any case, we were discussing some of the shots that we were looking at, and just the emotions that you see in a lot of these photos. It's not necessarily the Instagram photos. And that's what the bride said also. She's like, I don't care for those. And I go, perfect, because I don't really care either. Like, I am focused more on when her godmother walked in and they started tearing up. I'm focusing more when, I think it was her cousin?
Yeah.
I think it was her cousin.
But I think it's an important person.
Cuando vio el vestido por primera vez, entonces se puso bien emocional.
Yeah, y fue muy bonito.
Exacto, sí. Her cousin, when she saw her in her wedding dress for the first time, she's tearing up in the photo. And I mean, to us, those are the important moments. Like, obviously we're gonna capture everything. We're gonna do the fun, the funky shots and things like that. But moments, like the key moments that I'm seeing as we're scrolling through it, like, even his daughter, like dancing down the aisle. Yeah. Like that, to me, is what weddings are about, is people being themselves and enjoying the heck out of the day, or just being extremely emotional and crying. Like, that's really what we focus on. The smile on her face when she's walking down the aisle, like, really, that's the main takeaway, I think, is what we were discussing. It's just, I was telling Alexis, and he's joined us on the team pretty recently, but I'm telling him, it's not about flash, and it's not about your ISO or your aperture or any of that nonsense. We should know that anyway, because obviously that's why they're paying us. But the more important part is just to focus on the actual day and just pay attention. If there's a parent dance, we shoot 300 photos of that, because sometimes you don't know if the parent dance is only going to last for 5 seconds. So just assume that it will, take a bunch of photos. So, in conclusion, it's capturing moments. And I think that today's wedding, I feel pretty proud of what we captured. I feel like the energy was a little bit different. I had spoken with her. She told me it was going to be a little unorthodox, but that's what we're here for. It's whatever you want your wedding to be.
For example, you remember in Mary Queen the photo of the person, the oldest person? It's without the ISO, the
it doesn't matter.
That's a person.
Exactly.
It's that important, the moments.
Exactly, right? Like the mom and stuff like that. Yeah. If you're a photographer and you're wondering what our numbers are, what our exposure is, I'm happy to tell you. But at the end of the day, focus more on your couples, focus more on what makes them happy, and you're gonna go very far. And if you're a future, bride and groom, make sure that your photographer is not so concerned with what their super numbers are. Make sure that their focus is on the correct things. And that's capturing your day exactly as it unfolds. Yeah, really good shot. We're gonna head back to the reception, but thank you guys for watching.